everybody, welcome back, babies. My name is Lexi, the Weapon Assassin Destruction, the LGBT-able human being. Welcome to the Wednesday Night Wars podcast, the only podcast covering both AEW, NXT head-to-head, giving you exactly what's wrong, what's good, and what's really not working at all. Let's start off with our baby, AEW. That sounds unbiased, completely unbiased. Getting into it right off the bat, this is the first time I've had a chance to really sit down and watch both episodes of these shows in a long time. We've had the Wednesday night Twitch show, which is now Thursday to record this show. We are recording on Wednesday or Friday because I almost caught Corona, apparently. I don't know. We're going to figure this out. So starting off, we get the pyro, the ballyhoo, everyone coming through the crowd, and you see Joey Janela and Brian Pillman Jr. sitting right next to each other, and all I could think is, that is a team I did not know I needed in my life. Getting right into it, we have match one. It is a 10-man tag between the Inner Circle and Best Friends and Lucha Express, or as I'm calling them, Best Friends and Friends, because I've got nothing else. I gotta give Jericho credit. The dude reinvents himself constantly, and having Demo God as part of his entrance video is amazing. But man, I miss Sami Zayn. Everyone gets down to the ring. It looks like we're going to start off with Orange and Jericho. Everyone's excited for this, and Jericho quickly tags out to Hager. About what you would expect here. Orange goes up to Hager, does his usual shtick of the very light kicks. You did the... I take that back, Orange. Please don't hit me. His powerful Orange Cassidy style kicks. And there's something kind of hilarious about this. Hager handles this the same way you would handle your 12-year-old daughter... 12-year-old daughter hanging out with any kid that's just fucking you around. He just tosses him around a bit, ends up picking him up in a like just under the arms, not even a bear hug, just holding him up like a child before Orange boxes his ears. 1 minute in, and we've got a complete schmoz as the corners have emptied. Everyone is going crazy. People are flying outside of the ring. Within 30 seconds, we've got Chuck Taylor with the Tope Con Hilo to the outside. Trent nails an Asai moonsault on top of everybody else. Jungle Boy comes in with an assisted Hurricane Rana off Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus and Hager end up playing catch with Marco Stunt, which, if you've never seen two grown men play catch with another grown man who does happen to be like 5'0", you are really missing out. Everyone's going crazy. Lucha gets Marco on his back and just dives into the pile on the outside, which ends with Marco being the only one on his feet, just running around yelling. I've got no words for this. JR, being the salty old man he is now pissed that this 10-man tag is a tornado tag. He is completely upset that the referee has already lost control. Everyone's trying to kind of get everything going. And it's a schmoz. It's a mess. People are everywhere. Things are everywhere. Everyone starts making their way back to the ring. Sammy Guevara ends up stuck in the corner where everybody is just running and diving into Sammy at full speed. I've just released a razor blade in my lap. I shouldn't be playing with this while I'm recording a podcast. All the faces are diving to Sammy one by one before Trent comes in. Hager knocks him out of the air with a really horrific looking shot. Trent just bounced. Santana grabs Trent and German suplexes him to the outside of the ring. Trent is just getting absolute beat down, and I've got the note here. Trent's getting beat down by 5 men like he just passed fake money to a drug dealer. So yes, I am watching The Wire for the first time. How can you tell? JR once again makes his voice known about how he's upset about the lack of control. And Tony keeps trying to cover him up by saying the ref is letting this go because the fans want to see a fight. It's very obvious they're not on the same page. I should note now that Excalibur is not on commentary tonight. This has not been confirmed one way or another. The rumor is that a video of Kevin Owens and Excalibur dropping an N-bomb against the Human Tornado like 17 years ago came back into light this week. Not everyone got in on it. Human Tornado was quick to speak up on it, but it wasn't great at the time, and it's aged like milk. The rumor is Excalibur took himself off the show tonight because he wanted to give himself a chance to just not be a distraction. So we're kind of seeing what can happen from there. Orange Cassidy comes in, starts getting his stuff in. Tony Schiavone saying Orange Cassidy is cool with his dad voice instantly makes him less cool in my eyes. It's like your dad going like, oh, that's lit. It only carries so much weight. Sammy ends up grabbing Trent in a fireman's carry and ends up squatting him. Sammy is just an absolute beast in there. JR, I guess, finally annoyed that the crowd is completely lost, or the refs completely lost control of this, talks about peeing his pants, with Tony to say, responding, "I'd pay to see that, and I instantly regret being born with a sense of hearing." This is not, I did not need to know these two old men were into this. Luchasaurus gets in on the whole hot tag, turns Sammy absolutely inside out and starts taking everybody else out, but eventually his mask just breaks. I don't know if the straps came loose or if they came off or what, and he's losing his mask. He's trying to hold it on, and Taz, who's filling in for Excalibur tonight, gives the line only Taz could give. His face fell off. How can you not love this man? Keeping kayfabe, that's a dinosaur. Orange gets powerbombed into a knee strike by Pride and Prejudice, and the BFF hits their half and half. Codebreaker comes in to Trent. Jungle hits a backstabber on Jericho. Sammy hits his GTS variation on Jungle. And the tail whip, or I guess now they're calling it the spinning lizard, by Luchasaurus to Sammy. Everybody is trying to get their spots in, and Sammy is trying to prove that he still belongs here after having to take a little bit of time off. Sammy goes to the top rope. He's calling for something. Matt Hardy's music starts playing. He shows up from behind the ring, knocks him down, who gets right into a chokeslam and a head kick by Lucha for the 3 count. Matt Hardy claims Sammy is his... Matt Hardy's yelling at Sammy from the hallway. It's downright unsettling. It's a solid match for what it was. There wasn't much to it. It was... Got a couple of... It was a big mess. It was impossible to take notes on. It's hard to talk about. There's some great high spots, especially with just really everybody. Everybody got their stuff in. Everyone looked good. They introduced a lot of upcoming feuds. Matt and Sammy's being pushed. Hager and Lucha should be a real Haas match. Orange and Jericho's getting pushed some more. But just as far as a match goes, it is what it is. I spent a lot of time figuring out how I want to rate matches for this. I don't want to do a star rating. I don't want to do a 10-point scale until you guys trust me with my voice a little bit more. So I'm going thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and it's thumbs in the middle. It's fine. It's good. You don't have to go out of your way for it. Cut to Boxley in a backstage promo. Claims he would have been a punk bitch if he didn't help out Darby. But Ricky, punk bitch Starks, fell in with the wrong crowd. I don't always start fights, but I always do finish them. We jump right over to match 2. Warhorse versus Cody for the TNT Championship. The match I was the single most excited about for this entire evening. Warhorse looks like a stud coming out. He's got pyro. He's headbanging. He's headbanging with the crowd. You see Brian Pillman Jr. headbanging with him in the crowd, which I've never known what a mullet looked like when it headbangs. And now that I know, I don't think I could have lived without this knowledge any longer. He's yelling into the camera. The sun shines, grass is green, water is wet, and Warhorse rules ass. How do you not love this man? It really looks like they're investing in this guy. I know he's just the indie dude being brought in this time. He's being introduced by Tony Schimmel as weighing 4,000 pounds of raw heavy metal, and he's here to rule ass. Where was he when I was in college? Cody comes out. He's got Arn with him. Arn is coming out with notes. He's pointing at Warhorse. He's pointing at his notes. It's such a nice take. It's really putting in. He's not a trainer. He's a coach. He's got this coming in. Cody's also wearing his M. Bison limited shirt, which looked cheesy online, but now I'm seeing him wear it. It's kind of pretty cool. And I can't get over that neck tattoo Cody has. I just can't get over it. At least it's fading decently, I guess. It's a mess. Warhorse just looks indie as fuck next to Cody. He's a smaller dude. His outfit looks lower quality. Like, I'm not knocking this at all. There's no negative things here. But it sells the story he's an outsider, but it definitely looks like he does not belong. Warhorse chases, bell rings. Warhorse chases Cody in the corner and does a quick roll out of him. Cody does a kick out, and Warhorse sticks him right back into an arm drag. Cody tries to kip up, reverse it. Warhorse maintains control. This is looking like a really Cody match, where I know Warhorse, if you've never seen the guy, he's running around, he's bulging with muscles, he's got the long hair, the face paint. He looks like a heavy metal knockoff of the Ultimate Warrior by design. He loves 80s wrestling. Cody, we all know, loves 80s wrestling. they're only going to be able to do so much. And it looks like they're setting up for an old school. This first minute is just super, super old school. Cody's thrown into the ropes. They trade reversal, and Cody dips right when Warhorse goes for a haymaker. Like, looks like he missed him by hairs. They're tossing each other. They're throwing each other around. They're going back and forth, and they're ending up crisscrossing the ropes before Warhorse turns him absolutely inside out with an opposite rope lariat. Easily the move of the match so far. Cody does the whole flip in the air. It's been slow, but like they're hitting each other hard. We're going into the commercial with the picture-in-picture, which I always liked until now when I have to take notes and I don't get to take a bathroom break. Warhorse with the headbutts followed by headbanging is such a brilliant character trait. Just to headbutt someone and then turn it into headbanging like you're at a show. It's amazing. Cody finally starts regaining some control with a drop toe hold into the corner and really starts to heal it up, which I know, Cody, if you're listening, don't hate me, but let's call a spade a spade. You're playing the heel against babyface Warhorse. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a huge superplex into the ring by Cody that happened during the commercial and really caught me off guard. They did end up showing it on the replay as soon as they came back from the commercial, but man, what a weird time to use a high spot when the match has not had anything. He doesn't get the 3 count off it, but he does knock out some push-ups after he gets a 2 count, so right there. A lot of ground game, and Cody starts really working the leg here. It ends up being kind of the theme for the rest of the match, that Cody's going to go to the leg, he's going to go to the leg, and Warhorse is selling like he is absolutely being tortured. They're advertising hashtag CodyHorse on Twitter to try and get people engaged, and Cody Horse should have been run by a test audience. I don't know if it's because I hang out with you animals one too many times, but that is not something that should be said out loud. We come back from commercial, and this is when my note just says, wait, the superplex high spot happened during the commercial, what the fuck? It was just no mess. Cody locks in a figure 4, and Warhorse counters it immediately. I'm talking the second that leg crossed, Warhorse has turned it over. Cody gets him to break the hold, stand back up, big drop kick by Warhorse, a few great running corner lariats, still selling his leg. Warhorse is really showing that attention to detail that you don't always see from some of the younger guys, and that's not a knock on him. It's just such fast-paced wrestling doesn't allow it, and if you're in this 80s style, does do this. My favorite spot of the night, just because of how cheesy it was, Warhorse is thrown into the ring. Cody goes for a big clothesline, and Warhorse does that Angus Young guitar-playing knee slide when he just slides on his knees under it, ends up hitting a couple back elbows and a spinning lariat before some stomps, still selling his leg, and the commentary finally notices that Warhorse has been limping around now for a good 5 minutes. He goes to the top, and Warhorse takes a powder, just dives, jumps right out of the ring. Warhorse hops off the top, gets on the apron, hits a running stomp to the back of Cody's neck on the outside. Man, that looked brutal. Just absolutely brutal. Rolls him back in, and he hits a top rope elbow drop, which, my note here, I mean, CM Punk, eat your heart out. This was straight up Macho Man. It looked gorgeous. He got the height. He got the sideways movement. It looked brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Only gets the 2. That is his finisher. So right now, you didn't really think Warhorse was going to win the title, did you? Cody rolls up Warhorse for his own 2. Back to the figure 4. Warhorse cradles into that with a 2 count. They're just trading now. Warhorse counters the Sunset Flip for a 2. Warhorse jumps over Cody. Warhorse climbs back to the top rope. Looks like he's going to go for an axe handle. Cody dives at him. Warhorse decides to jump over him. I guess this is why wrestlers go for the flying nothing. He just jumps up, comes back down, and just his leg buckles underneath him, immediately starts selling it. Cody comes up, hits a leg drop to the knee. Warhorse is very hard to say 3 times fast. Oh boy. I'm struggling to say it here. Cody hits a nasty, nasty looking leg drop to the knee. Cody goes for the figure 4 leg time. Third time, he comes down to drop his leg. Warhorse actually grabs it with his hand. Looks like he's going to be able to power out. Gets a couple boots straight to the face. Finally locks it in, and he has to tap. Warhorse sold the leg super well. Really solid match. Not anything amazing, but, you know, I'm happy with it. It does feel a little bit like a tryout match. It is what it is. Now, the Dark Order B team shows up right when this happens. takes out Warhorse, takes out Cody. Arn comes in, and they turn to Arn, and you're thinking, are they really going to beat up this old chubby man? Which, I love you, Arn. Please don't murder my entire family for saying that. But again, call a spade a spade. They're getting ready to go after Marm when Matt Cardona, previously Zack Ryder in WWE, comes out to make the save. Matt looks fucking jacked, baby. This boy spent every single second he had not in a ring, in a gym. He looks amazing. The match, I'm gonna go against the crowd a lot. I saw a lot of real negative things on Twitter and especially on Reddit. I want to give it a thumbs up. It's fine. It was a great indie match. It was a great 80s match. Maybe not what I'm expecting on TV now, but I still liked it. It did feel like a very strong tryout. I love Warhorse. I love Danhausen. I love all those guys. I'd love to see him be brought in. He's not going to go to the top of the card, but he's such a fun character. He deserves a shot somewhere. Hire Warhorse. As if my podcast on the very first episode was precisely 0 viewers. You know what? Whatever. I said it. I'm sticking with it. Finally go to a commercial. I'm going to take a sip real quick. That's why people record these in advance. Tony announces the next pay-per-view is going to be on November 5th. The Inner Circle comes out and is furious. They're bitching about the match. They're bitching about their opponents. Sammy calls Hardy a son of a bitch, not once, but twice. Really hammers down that Hardy is a real son of a bitch. Jericho, with the absolute line of the night from either show, turned, Sammy, what's son of a bitch in Spanish? Sammy just responds back, straight face, son of L bitch, and I am fucking dead. Nothing has ever prepared me for that. I loved it. We're going to get Orange Cassidy versus Jericho in 2 weeks, but next week we're going to get Jericho versus Orange Cassidy in a debate with a special moderator, and there's nothing I want more. How can you not be excited about this? I haven't seen a two pro wrestlers debate since Chris Nowinski and Scott Steiner. And if you haven't seen that, that is like Scott Steiner at his prime. I can only imagine what Orange Cassidy's gonna be like here. I'm expecting like Animal House level of shit. Jericho's bitching about his jacket, says after the match, Orange is gonna have to give him $7,000 to replace the jacket. He says it still smells. He turns to Ortiz. Ortiz, does this still smell like orange juice? Ortiz takes the smell. Kind of smells like cat pee. He screams and he storms off. Good segment. It's fine. We go to a pre-recorded segment of AEW finally signing a contract with FTR. FTR finally signing their contract. I want to know, what company are you allowed to wrestle in this many matches, show up and beat the shit out of people, attack people, and not have a contract and not be arrested? AEW, apparently you're allowed to do whatever the fuck you want. So next time they're in town, I'm coming after you. That's all I'm saying. I'm getting myself a title shot. They want to be tag team champion. They said they have a tag team consultant. They want to help go over the contract. And Arn Anderson comes out. This is really hinting a little bit more at that Four Horsemen that they've been, kind of teasing. I'd love to see this. They've been discussing the money. They say before they sign, the money looks good. Their signing bonus was in advance. But they want to make sure they were guaranteed a tag team appreciation night on August 12th. Guaranteed by Tony Khan. It's in the contract. It's going to happen. Heyman comes in to celebrate. He's got a bottle of Jack. He's got 4 glasses. He sees Arn there. He goes, Tony, this was for you, but now it's for Arn. Pours out 4 glasses. Each glass gets about a finger, except for the one he's holding, which he's just filled to the brim. Arn just looks at it, remembers the last time he drank while he was on the job at a wrestling company. He goes, no, maybe not. It's a nice little point at the Smarks, like, well, us, if you're watching a wrestling podcast. Really nice touch there. Just a nice touch. We come back. They're showing a couple of highlights of last week, and we get into match 3, which, if Warhorse was my most anticipated match, this is my second. We're getting Dark Order versus Hangman and Kenny. Brody Lee's coming out with Dark Order. He's wearing this burgundy kind of Merlot colored suit, and holy shit, does he look good. I am trying to restrain myself a little bit looking at him. Anna Jay is with them. Colt Cabana's with them. Colt Cabana takes up spot on the commentary, where I, honest to God, did not realize he was there. He'd been talking for a while. I just did not realize he was for about half the match. So kind of tells you the level of commentary I got out of it. But at the same time, we did have a call in the Discord where we were all talking about it, so whatever. Hangman comes out, he gets into the ring, he's jabbing with Dark Order, and Dark Order start beating the shit out of Hangman while Kenny comes out. Kenny goes, he's got his music going, he goes to his spot, he's raising his hands, he's posing, he looks up, and he sees Hangman fighting both of them. He's got this confused, like, what the fuck is happening, look going on, gets in the ring, grabs Hangman, throws Hangman in the corner, and yells at him. He's yelling at Hangman for fighting early, when it was really Hangman getting the shit kicked out of him early. So it's another kind of nod that this feud is coming. We don't know when, we don't know where, but this is coming. I don't know if they're going to make it all the way to November, but this is going to happen. We start the match off with Kenny and Uno. Kenny is being double teamed in the corner. Dark Order is just so good. They're so smooth. Everyone's kind of coming together. Hangman and Kenny are brilliant together. There's a lot of quick tags. There's a lot of action. Hangman pops in. We get a springboard axe handle. They're both slapping Uno, trading slaps on each side. Uno puts his hands up. They both slap him on both sides, where if you've ever seen like the super kicking someone meeting in the middle, they just did it with chops, and it was brilliant. Hangman and Kenny give a big double high five in the center of the ring, so maybe not. Maybe there's not as much dissension as I think there is. Quick tag to Hangman. Big boot to Uno. A springboard clothesline by Stu on the apron. A fall-away slam. Kip up by Hangman. He knocks Stu out of the ring and hits him with a crossbody off the ropes. All within 10 seconds. Like, absolute fast movement. We get a close-up on Brody's face as he's really paying attention. The Dark Order needs to take the titles home. He needs a win for them. And I never noticed how his beady eyes are so close together. We talked about dogs being inbred too much. He's got a very narrow face for a boy that big. Dark Order is taken over. Uno throws Grayson into Hangman's stomach. Just absolutely launches him like a spear into him. And my note here, just from the podcast, wow, it's really hard to write a podcast live. Episode 1, folks, deal with me. Comments below, let me know. There's a lot of fast-moving double teams. Dark Order showing some great tag team skills. I know these guys were together for years as Super Smash Bros, and you're seeing just why they are this good. The tag team division of AEW is the stuff of legends. If nothing else, we're going to remember this in 10 years. Uno hits a vertical suplex to Hangman while Stu kicks Hangman into the head, and we go to another commercial. Picture in picture. Luckily, this one is a little bit slower. Dark Order is maintaining control, just isolating Hangman, just getting some stuff in, slowing down the pace, controlling it a little bit. And Bucks and Kazarian, the Young Bucks are in the crowd, Kazarian's in the crowd. They're really showing the rest of the tag teams paying a lot of attention getting in there. Commercial's over, didn't last too long. Kenny gets tagged in and immediately hits, which I don't know what to call this. You will not survive is my note. I know that's what he yells. I don't know if there's a better name for that. If someone knows, please correct me. Where he basically grabs you in a fireman's carry, hits a rolling fireman's carry into a springboard moonsault off the second turnbuckle. It looks great. Colt is on commentary, which is when I finally notice he's there. Kenny throws Stu in one of the coolest moves of the entire night. Kenny grabs Stu and tries to shoot him into the corner. Stu, just bored of this, I guess, does a running Tope Con Hilo over the corner onto Hangman, I'm assuming, because they took out the cameraman. All you see is Stu running towards the corner camera, and then he's gone. He flips, and he left, and he's on his home planet now. He had to leave us. And Kenny has this face, just shocked that happened, which, in fairness, I made the same goddamn face. Uno comes in, takes advantage, hits a massive swanton on Kenny before Dark Order hits their assisted powerbomb finish. Hangman just breaks it up. We get assisted belly-to-belly onto Kenny, using Kenny to launch him into Hangman. Stu hits a gorgeous 450 onto Kenny, while Uno goes underneath him at the same time, nailing a cannonball on Hangman. And I can't fucking keep up with this. It's too fast-paced. Kenny finally starts to recover a little bit. He fights back out of the double team. He gets his Snapdragon on Uno. Stu hits a frog splash on Kenny right after. Hangman hits the powerbomb on Uno. Kenny hits the V-trigger to the back of Uno's head, only for a 2 count. They pop up, get the buckshot V-trigger to finally end it, but Stu was right there. He was knocked out of the ring with the previous exchange, and and he was right next to the ref. It looked like he wasn't supposed to stand up quite yet, was a little early on his call or a little bit early on his mark, and just didn't get a chance to hit the spot. Just looked like a little bit of a botch there, which is a shame because the rest of the match was so damn good. Brody hits Uno in the face with his notes after the match, grabs Stu by the throat, and it's hinting like a lot of dissension within the Dark Order. Is this going to be the end of the Dark Order? Brody has a mic, calls out Heyman for laughing at him. Bucks come out of the ring, come out of the crowd into the ring. Dark Order comes out, like Dark Order B team just shows up, and they're surrounding the ring. FTR shows up out of nowhere, nails Brody with one of those cheap foam coolers you get at a gas station, and it explodes in ice, and I'm guessing Pepsi, because a Pepsi can ended up in the ring somewhere. All hell breaks loose. They end up finally clearing the ring. Dark Order marches off after staring him down. Really good match. Thumbs way up. One of the better matches of the night. Definitely go to your way for this one. We get a quick Dr. Britt Baker promo. She's on the side. She talks about Big Swole in the women's tag tournament. She's obsessed. She can't keep my name out of her mouth. She does her whole role model gimmick and offers Swole a shot at her if she can beat an opponent of her choice. It was nothing. It was fine. It progressed the story, but it is what it is. We are into match 4. Diamante is already in the ring. I'm going to mispronounce this a billion different ways, and I apologize in advance. She's in the ring as we come back from commercial, so she got the jobber entrance, but they do give her a background promo, which was really, really good. These girls should fear me because they're gonna feel me, which in wrestling sounds intimidating, but in porn sounds like something altogether. Really good promo. Really sold me on her real quick. Hikaru Shida comes down to the ring. Hikaru is absolutely adorable. I noticed Diamante is wearing her LAX gear, which I don't know if that was intentional or if that's all she had on her or what, but you know, something to point out. They start off trading some blows, rolling around on top of each other, trading mounts, and just raining fists on each other. Finally roll the outside. Hikaru drops Diamante on the guardrail and hits a massive running knee strike that spins her out. Great little spot. I missed a few minutes right here because my dog decided to fart hard enough to make me wish I had COVID and lost my sense of smell, and I had to deal with this, so a couple of moments just missing here. I come back, they both have wrist control on each other, which is look like they were holding hands. It is what it is. They're throwing punches back and forth. It's just an absolute brawl. Diamante rolls the apron, and Hikaru tries to superplex her back in, but Diamante jumps back and almost looks what's like an RKO onto the top rope, and Hikaru goes down like a sack of shit. Throws Diamante back into the corner and just nails Hikaru in the corner. Shida finally pushes Diamante off for Diamante runs in for a wheelbarrow stunner. Really smooth, really well done. They went for a sunset flip, but they rolled into the ropes, kind of took there. It looks a little sloppy there. Like the whole match has been a mixture of really good spots and just sloppy setups between. Shida hits a huge delayed Falcon Arrow for a 2 count before setting up a running knee strike for the 3. Thumbs in the middle. There were some great moments, but you're not going to miss anything by skipping this match. And that's a shame because both these women are capable of so much more. Excuse me. So we cut backstage and we're breaking down the rules for the Women's Tag Team Cup. It's deadly draw. Everyone's going to draw a color. Matching colors are a team. The trophy looks really, really nice. We get Nyla and Rose in the back with Vicky. Just doing their, little shtick. Nyla Rose says, "Excuse me," and turns to Vicky, "See what I did? See what I did?" It was cute. I liked it. It was cute. We're told Nyla's going to go ahead and pick. She draws purple, and they said, "Oh, well, we already had someone draw purple, so here's your partner." Ariane, which is Cameron from the Funkadactyls, which if you put a gun to my head and said, who is going to get picked up by AEW? What women's wrestler that is available is going to get picked up? Cameron from the Funkadactyls was not going to make that list at all. I don't know why she's there. I didn't pick up the name. I don't know. And it's hard to care because they very obviously didn't either. It very much felt like, here she is. Hey. The only good part about this was JR just bitching about the virus, fucking things up. just bitching about everything. The virus is ruining everything. The virus is ruining everything. And he drops the line, your laundry isn't done, it's the virus. What a fucking boomer, but man, when he hits, he hits. He's Milia. We get a backstage real quick. MJF comes down to the ring for his address to the crowd, address to the AEW fans, the company. And I say this very, very, very carefully. What MJF dropped here was a pipe bomb. This was a pipe bomb level promo, and if you've watched this and you disagree with me, just think about it for 10 seconds. He starts off with, I'm here to force feed you the truth like a 5-year-old is fed mac and cheese. I'm going to work that into my life somehow. I don't know where I'm going to use that line. There's a girl sitting there next to him. He tells her to smile. She's so much prettier when she does, and he's such a fucking twat. He's such a fucking prick. I love him. He's perfect. He's calling for change. He's calling for Moxley, because Moxley wanted a paradigm shift, but still being able to do what and wrestle who he wants just because he came from the land of Titans. And that's old hat, brother. Is it a work shoot? Is he like going a little loose? I don't know. It was brilliant. He's calling Moxley Jonathan. I don't have to play wrestler because I am one. He claims to get better numbers, says AEW is the land of opportunity, and you've squandered that. And just, there's so many great, great moments here. And this one here stuck out in my head so much. My talent outweighs your tenure, John. And I am saying that before I quit my job. I've got a couple of people that are that's going to be how I quit my job, I'm pretty sure. But it's going to be pretty there. He's claiming he's going to lead the company to a golden era for the next 25 years. Just what an amazing promo. A career-making promo. The man has upped his game literally every single time he's been out there. Just wow. I don't give thumbs to segments. I'm not going to rate segments. But if I did, this is a thumbs up. We get a notification next week. It's going to be Cody and Matt Cardona versus Dark Order's B team, which... okay, yeah, sure. Match number 5 is our main event. Darby Allin's music comes on, but he doesn't come out. They kind of pan around, they're looking for him, he just doesn't show. I'm expecting to have one of those, you know, like, they got to him backstage and they beat the shit out of him, and just nothing happens. Alright, whatever. They start Moxley's music, he comes out from the stands, you know, he does his, walking around like he's a fucking psychopath, because, well, he is. They cut backstage with Taz, Starks, and Cage. Cage looks jacked, even beyond like Cage standards. He looks jacked, and Starks is smooth as hell. They cut a promo on Darby not showing up. Taz cutting a promo on Moxley saying Cage is the FTW champion. He's got everything he wants. He's just gonna take your title. There's nothing you can do. Just really good promo. Like, anyone who says Taz can't talk, this promo should have won you over. They didn't let Cage talk. Good. If you ever heard the man talk, it's not his forte. His forte is being huge and throwing people around. Starks gets a lot of promo time, talk about Darby Allin, and just owns it. He takes complete control over it. He does an amazing, amazing job. They start coming to the ring, and everyone's still like, all right, where's Darby? Where are they coming from? They get to just the top of the ramp, and Darby hits a coffin drop off the top of the fucking rafters. I don't know where he came from, because apparently he's fucking here. He's just showing up in there. All hell's now broken loose. Nobody's in the ring. Small boy versus small boy. Medium boy versus big boy. And everyone's going crazy. Finally, Stark clotheslines Darby into the ring. Darby goes for some sort of cross body out of the ring. Cage ends up missing the catch. Ends up picking him back up anyways to do some curls, which is a grown fucking man to be curling on. That's a terrifying fucking thing. Before John does a suicide dive and takes them both out, and we go to yet another commercial. Again, picture in picture, and it's going to be a nightmare to keep up with because this is a tornado tag. Nobody's cares. Darby's apparently fucking dead as Moxley's getting double teamed. He's getting tossed around. He's getting beat up. They're really, really just beating him down. Darby finally shows back up and hits Cage with a top rope dropkick before skipping around Starks to hit him with a running dropkick. Like, the man is so quick. I don't know how this dude can move this fast, but it's always impressive. Darby Allin, I know some of the people that were in the Discord call, they'd never seen him before. And like, who's this knockoff Jeff Hardy? I'm like, it's not entirely inaccurate, but just wait. He's going to win you over. And he did not fail to disappoint. Or did not fail to impress. Like, the man, he nailed his stuff. He's running around. Cage picks up Mox for a slam. Darby goes for a hurricane run off the top rope and just stops dead in his tracks. Just giving Cage a dick first into the mouth piggyback ride. Before Cage just power bombs him and slams down Mox at the same time, just showing the strength of Cage. This man is a grown man just throwing around two other men like they're toys. He throws around Darby Allin like I throw around Toby. And probably easier, honestly. He German suplexes Darby across the entire fucking ring, while Mox just picks up a chair and chucks it at Stark's head. Sickening sound out of that. Bodies are flying, clutter, and spears, and spinning lariats, and oh my. We're finally back from commercial, and they did all this shit during a goddamn commercial. They really love their picture-in-picture. Cage tosses a trash can to Ricky, who just whiffs. He just misses the catch altogether. Ends up getting a double vertical suplex reversed by Mox for getting super kicked and double flapjacked into the trash can. Looked real nasty. Darby breaks up the pin by diving in and takes the rib of the trash can right to his ribs. Like, the trash can's sitting like this. Darby's ribs just come in and it looked... I know that's not supposed to be the painful part, but man, that really looked like it fucking sucked. Stronger man than I am, because I would have sold my ribs right then and there. The schmozz continues a little bit. Darby pulls out a skateboard covered in thumbtacks, jumps off the top rope and lands on Ricky Stark's back. And it's worse than you even think. Because thumbtacks, I know they look bad, but holy shit, he caught it and it like skinned him as well. Seeing the pictures of him getting cleaned up after the fact were just gnarly. I mean, they're all very thin cuts. There's thumbtacks, but you couldn't talk me into taking that move. He gets the win off that, and Ricky is just leaking blood out of his black. I gave it a thumbs up, only because the high spots made up for it again, but it was, as far as thumbs up go, this was just barely. It was good for what it was, a very strong finish, but everyone did look great. Darby is eyeing the title, eyeing Mox, and they say we're going to get Mox versus Darby for the title next week, which should be a really good match that will 100% end in interference. You can go ahead and quote me on that one right now. All in all, I'm going to give the show a thumbs up. It fell flat a few times. The highs were able to pull it through pretty easily. It's not the best AEW show I've ever seen. It's not the best. There's so many things that were just kind of eh. But that MJF promo especially, just so impressive, so powerful, so impactful. They did such incredible stuff. I want to see more. 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 On that note, I'm just going to take a quick second, catch my breath, and then we're going to start talking about NXT. All right. So after AEW, we ended up switching over, and we caught a little bit of NXT. Which, I knew as soon as I hit this button, the song was going to take a second to pick up. Why'd you have to pick such a slow starting song for a theme song? I'm going to give this a second. I'm going to do that intro again. I can slow it down a bit? Okay. You know I talk fast. After AEW, we managed to catch NXT. Caught a replay. Don't ask me how WWE. I'm no fucking narc. Fuck you. Show opens up with a highlight package of Keith versus Dominik Dijakovic and Cross versus Keith Lee, or Cross versus Dijakovic. They're really doing some cool things here. Just really kind of setting the stage of Keith Lee and Dijakovic are going to be our big things. They're going to be our big focus here. Getting right into this, they wasted no time. We're starting off with a tag match of Dakota Kai, Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai and Tegan Nox. Io Shirai comes out, and Dakota Kai just comes in right through the intro, attacking, followed by Candice LeRae and Dakota. We start with Candice and Tegan, and it's really... crowd sounds huge. I know there's less people in there than they even have for Raw, but they're banging on the plexiglass, they're yelling, they're shouting. Really, it's a lot of fun. It's really... I don't know how they made that small area sound so big, but they did it. I'm very impressed. They both tag out. Dakota is just incensed. Everyone's going at each other at such a high speed. It's really kind of nailing into each other. Candice and Dakota are trading quick tags while attacking Io, really trying to keep the women's champion stuck in a corner. Watching this after AEW, this is already the better women's match. It's not even close. Things are fast-paced, but they're incredibly tight. We're not seeing any botches. Everyone's kind of coming up there. We beat up the faces as we go into the commercial break, and my note here is just Io Shirai is so good. It's another one of those matches that just everything was going crazy. People are flying around. We're seeing a lot of high-impact modes. And Io throws Dakota in the corner into the Trio Woe and hits that old Alberto Del Rio double stomp out of the Trio Woe. And it's just beautiful. Io, I don't think a lot of people know, she put up a little salute, just a little goodbye to her friend on the way out. And Dakota let go of those ropes at the last possible second. That could have gotten so much worse. Yeah, it's like Agent just said there. It's like a wrestling show when they put it on a hockey rink. It was massive. Io hits one of the absolute scariest moonsaults I've seen in forever on Candice LeRae. I'm not sure if it was the best in a while or a near miss, but her knees felt like they came within inches of Candice LeRae's face. Really sold the danger of this. Power to Candice LeRae for not moving, because I would have pissed myself just a little bit. Picks up the win, 3 counts. Thumbs up, no question. Not the best match we're going to see. Not the best match we've seen tonight, but really, really good start to a show. Good start to the show. We get a little segment going over the Adam Cole, Pat McAfee controversy. This worked the hell out of the non-fans. It was absolutely hilarious. Pat McAfee had Adam Cole on for his podcast. They're talking about everything, and Pat McAfee said, "Oh, that's good. You've got the Undisputed Era around you because you know you're being small." Adam Cole flips the fuck out, starts dropping F-bombs, yells about being disrespected, throws a microphone, and storms out. They plan on having them meet to talk, and there's no way this is going to be a fight. There's no way it's going to be physical, and I'm all for it. Pat can go better than you assume. I love Adam Cole. If you got worked by this, why? If you watch wrestling, you should have been able to see this one. But the casual fans, sure, I get it. Excuse me. COVID. Match number 2. Johnny Gargano versus Roddy Strong. A very rare heel versus heel match. We get a recap of them feuding on Twitter, because apparently this match started because you said something mean about me. Well, I said something mean about you, and William Regal had to tweet like, "Mom, just... oh no, that's not how we do things, boy. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. You're getting 2 of the best in the world in the ring at the same time. I don't care why you're doing it." So, heel versus heel. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful technical wrestling. It's hard to call this, especially at the beginning. There's a lot of these matches that have just been very hard to call, and this will get better as we go, I'm sure, too. But just so much action. They're picking ankles. There's crossfaces, side headlocks, reversals into reversals into reversals. It's wrestling at its most pure, and I am 10,000% positive there's some dude with a massive neck beard right now calling it boring as fuck. But if you enjoy the sport of pro wrestling, this was amazing. If you like technical wrestling, this is what you have to see. They cut to a commercial, an actual commercial. By the time they come up, things have really picked up. Roddy hits a massive backbreaker and chops Gargano's soul right out of his body. I'm surprised he didn't break his sternum on that chop. Gargano went for the diving DDT, reversed that into a backbreaker because LOL, of course he did. Gargano finally takes control after hitting a diving tornado DDT off the ropes, and I legit cannot keep up with this. They're selling, they're making it look impactful, but they're still One move flows into another. Every spot has purpose. Every spot has a point. And they go outside the ring. Gargano just bounces Roddy off the plexiglass. Finally nails his final beat DDT for the win. Major thumbs up. If you like wrestling at all, go out of your way to watch this match. Maybe not long of a storyline, and heel versus heel matches are usually going to be a little short on storyline, but a hell of a match. Just an absolute hell of a match. We get, excuse me. We go backstage, and we're getting a couple of promos. Dakota claims to be in Io's head, wants the title. Rhea Ripley shows up, who's now completely bleached her hair blonde. Says she has first dibs on Io, and we'll have to go, and she'll go through anyone to get there. So I'm guessing we're going to see that next week. We cut to another promo of Thatcher cutting a promo on, I have Dexter and Finn. Oh, Dexter Lumis. I'm sorry, my brain shut off. Cut a promo on Dexter and Finn. Dexter Lumis just lurking in the background, doing his wide-eyed, spooky person thing. Absolutely brilliant. Undisputed Era shown walking backstage, just pissed. They're yelling at each other. Kyle O'Reilly shows up with what I can only call a hockey beard and a faux hawk. Yells at everyone to get their shit together. You're Kyle O'Reilly. You're my tag team partner. You're Roddy Strong. And it feels like they're trying to be faces a little bit. So maybe Roddy versus Gargano wasn't heel versus heel. That was going to be face versus heel in another week or two. I don't know. Either way, not a lot to it, but it worked. We get into match 3, another women's match. Shotzi Blackheart versus Mercedes Martinez. Shotzi comes out in her little tank, runs around the ring. Welcome to the ball pit. I didn't know this was a Tumblr convention, but okay, I'm not upset about it. Mercedes comes out and she looks like $1,000,000. Like she's just above this. She's annoyed she has to get into this ring. She's annoyed she has to wrestle. And I'm terrified. This is a woman that looks like she's upset. I'm just bothered. Shotzi and Robert Stone on the back. Robert Stone came out with Mercedes as her representative. Shotzi and Robert Stone are trading some verbal jabs on the outside. Mercedes comes from behind and hits a wheelbarrow slam onto the apron. Just right off the bat, getting into really heavy shit. Getting into real big nonsense. And you can tell like how this one's probably going to go. Mercedes hits a spinning face buster followed by a kick and a discus forearm, and Switchblade clicks to a massive senton. Just leading with Mercedes leaning on the ropes. Just they're trading. The spinning face buster, the kick, and discus forearm are beautiful. Ends up getting tripped up, leaning on the ropes, and Shotzi comes out with a senton on, like, when I say lean on the ropes, I'm talking about, like, for that 619 position that no one ever falls into except Wrestling Ray. Apparently now you'll do it against Shotzi, and she'll hit the senton on you that just looks like she's going to choke you out with the rope. Martinez comes back with a spine buster that would have made Arn Anderson proud somewhere, and just follow up some major ground and pound. Shotzi goes for sliced bread number 2, but it gets reversed and hung up on the top rope where Martinez climbed up behind her, hit some massive forearms like Shotzi owed her money, and hit a move, a German suplex from the top rope. Have you ever played WWE No Mercy or WWF No Mercy, I guess it was back then? It was that spider suplex. It's gorgeous. It's just impactful. Shotzi flew across the ring. I'm really surprised she landed safely. One powerbomb later, this is all but done. Or one bomb later, I should say. Thumbs up. Amazing showing for both girls. Martinez looks like a champ. Get her into a championship feud right now. We get a promo for Ridge Holland, who's going to debut next week, showing him as a violent rugby player. I'm familiar with him from NXT UK. I know the name, but I only kind of in passing. I've never seen him work, but just watching him toss motherfuckers around on a rugby field. You know what? All right. They showed a clip of him hitting a pounce and just launching people, so I'm ready. We're doing a podcast. I'm going to tune in next week regardless, but we'll see what that looks like. We'll kind of go from there. Keith Lee makes his way down to the promo, and Keith Lee is one of my favorite wrestlers on the planet right now. The guy has such a presence about him, and he's talking about Dominik Dijakovic saying that, don't help me, let me do this before he got, knocked the fuck out. Says Dominik Dijakovic is a grown man and he will do whatever he wants, but he calls out Cross drops a bullshit, which I only say that because he says, I'm not doing your bullshit, which is censored. However, the crowd started chanting bullshit, which was not censored, which normally, yeah, I know you don't censor the crowd, but the crowd was pro wrestlers, so they should know not to, I don't know. It felt a little cheap, but it also worked, so what the fuck do I know, I guess. Let's call out Cross, get down here, let's do this. Cameron Grimes comes out instead, and you just know this boy's on borrowed time from the very first second he shows up. He's got his mic, he's coming down. I'm gonna take you out, Keith. You know, your title's mine. It's a shame that you gave up the US title because I was gonna take that. And he grabs him around the throat with one hand, just drags Cameron into the ring. Lights go down, and Scarlett shows up on the entrance ramp. Doesn't say a word, just stays there. Grimes tries to take advantage of this distraction. Jumps up for a Hurricane Rana and gets power bombed into next week. Thanks for coming, Cameron. You tried really hard, I guess, but not your day. Cross shows up on the Titantron. Has a couple of great lines in his little promo. What kind of man makes a choice to stand by when his friend suffers? You did that. You have two choices. The easy way, you give me my shot at the NXT Championship, or the hard way, and you don't even know what that is because everyone will suffer. TikTok. One side point. The hard way, you don't want to know what it is because everyone will suffer. But didn't you just tell them that? Okay, you know what? I'm not arguing with you. You're crazy. Fine, sure, whatever. Keith Lee says pick a time and a place, and he will whoop dad ass. All right, cool. Match 4, we have Imperium showing up versus Ever Rise, and this is my first time ever seeing Ever Rise, and man, do they look like a beta version of the Young Bucks. They look like the old school Hardy Boys mixed with the Young Bucks, and you can't help but think that that's kind of intentional with how this match turned out. There's not much to say. Absolute squash. I'm not even sure Imperium broke a sweat. They tossed him around. I don't even think one of the Ever Rise people got in, or else they just looked enough the same that I didn't even notice. But once you beat a man with another man, there's not much left to say. I'm going to give it a thumbs in the middle, only because it really established Imperium as a dominant championship team. They established them as dominant. They came out. Eichner and Barthel looked like they are world beaters, even if these were nobodies. It just showed that they were leagues ahead of them. After match, the Undisputed Era, all four of them stormed the ring, beat the shit out of Imperium, and goddamn did I miss Fish and O'Reilly together. I missed Redragon, Red Dragon, however you're going to call them. I'm glad to see them all out there. I was waiting for Walter to show up to even the odds, but no dice, but okay, sure, whatever. You get a Bronson Reed promo package because he was the surprise winner of last week's Triple Threat to get into the NXT US title ladder match. There's a lot of words in that. Whatever. Standard babyface promo of how hard he worked to get here. It is a great underdog story. He's a nobody, but he's there. He does drop the one line that I had to make a note of. For Shawn Michaels, the boyhead dream came true. For me, the thick boy dream will come true. You know what? All right. Yeah, I'm on your side, thick boy. Show me what you got. I want to see you dive off that ladder. We get Regal on the screen from his home, which looks like a boomer home, so it does kind of fit what I would imagine Regal would live in. Reminds Keith and Cross that they cannot make their own championships and matches, and championships have to be earned. We'll see how long that lasts. I give it. When's the next pay-per-view? Another 4 or 5 weeks? Give it 3 weeks. We'll have something set up. Match 5, and another just balling match on paper. Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Jake Atlas. I say this cautiously, and I say this knowing the heat I might get from people on the internet. I love that WWE has a gay wrestler, and Vince hasn't made his gimmick being gay. His thing is not, he is the gay wrestler. He's a wrestler who happens to be gay, and that is probably because he's on NXT and Vince hasn't had a chance. Vince might not even know who the fuck he is. I'm really happy about this. I hope that stays the way. We'll see how that goes. Isaiah starts off with a sliding Hurricane Rana before Atlas puts on the moves himself. He's got all the moves. People, it's just quick moves. The sliding Hurricane Rana, Atlas jumps right back up. They circle around, a couple of reversals before Atlas knocks him down. It's really, really, really well done. so many Lucha influences in this match to begin with. Swerve comes up with a massive step-up kick to take us to commercial. We do get an actual commercial break, so I get a chance to breathe for a second. We come back with Atlas in a springboard blockbuster that just looked absolutely devastating. Just absolutely killed him. Swerve rolls forward to be met with a straight kick with a sickening slap and a forward DDT. And by forward DDT, it's only because I guess it'd be a headlock driver. What Jon Moxley's original Dirty Deeds was by Atlas. This is my first time really seeing an Atlas match, and I'm very, very, very impressed. They've done a great job with this. I knew Swerve was great. It's the reason I play Rufus and Chaka Khan before every one of our Twitch streams, is seeing him on the indies do it. But Atlas has opened up my eyes. I am there. We get a diving STO by Swerve for a two count before Atlas, with what might be the absolute move in the night, gets Swerve into the corner and hits a Brett's Rope whale hunt, or a Murphy's Law, or whatever you want to call it. And my jaw is on the floor. That was the prettiest thing you're going to see all night. If you're going to see nothing, find that clip. It's absolutely worth it. Scott blocks the cartwheel DDT, knocks Atlas out of the ring, who's just hanging by his toes outside, like toes on the top rope, hanging out, before getting rocked with a house call on the ground. And they look like they're just hitting each other. I know they're not, like, you can tell they're giving themselves space, but like the sound, like how quick and how crisp everything is. Brilliant match. Swerve knocks him back into the ring, hits the JML driver, and ends this. Thumbs up. Not the best match of the night or even the show, but a real spectacle. This is the kind of match you show your friends that are not into pro wrestling, to show them, hey, this is really cool. Here's why. It's flashy, it's loud, it can win people over. Big thumbs up. Get a promo backstage with Damian Priest promising to win his triple threat next week and to take the title at the pay-per-view. We get a couple matches announced. We get Rhea Ripley versus Dakota Kai next week. That'll be a great match. Damian Priest versus Oney Lorcan versus Ridge Holland. Okay. I love Oney Lorcan. I love Damian Priest. Ridge Holland we talked about already. I think he's going to be interesting to watch. I think this one might be a bit foregone conclusion. I don't see Damian Priest not winning this. And we get Imperium versus Fish and O'Reilly next week as well, which you know is going to be in contention for match of the week already. We get match 6 starting off our main event of the night, Dexter Lumis versus Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Dexter Lumis comes out first, does not blink once throughout his entire entrance. I still don't know how he does this. He's absolutely terrifying. Thatcher comes out next, and it boggles my mind to realize that this man is signed by WWE, and I don't mean that as a negative. I remember loving him on the indie scene. He looks like a killer. He looks like an Irish shipman that would just rip your arms out. I know he's not Irish, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's that old Gangs of New York style, where he will rip your arm out of socket just for looking at him. He's got broken teeth. He's not an attractive dude, and he can't really talk all that well. But damn if he's not terrifying, and I'm so glad he's here. Finn comes out, and my note here is just, excuse me, I'll be in my bunk. Finn proves the Kinsey scale's real. I don't care if like it's been debunked, but it's, you know, everybody's a little bit gay for Finn, sorry. And if you're like me, then it's just the straight. Everyone's either straight or gay for Finn as necessary. Whatever. Anyways, Thatcher and Finn started to it, and Dexter hasn't moved an inch. Thatcher and Finn are beating the shit out of each other, just pushing each other towards the top of the ring. They go outside of the ring, and Dexter has not shrugged his shoulder. He's not shuffled a foot, nothing. And it's crazy. They leave the ring, come back in, and now Dexter, it's like someone remembered to plug in his controller. Oh, okay. He starts jumping in with some throat punches, clears the ring, Finn and Thatcher leave. Dexter apparently being bored, not being able to punch anyone in the throat for 10 seconds, nails a flip off the top, flip over the top rope, lands straight on his feet beneath him. Ricochet, eat your heart out. A man 4 times your size just nailed this. Ricochet is in trouble if Dexter can pull all this shit off there. Oh my god. It's like he did this just to see what would happen, and I'm spellbound. I cannot look away from this match. They get some brawling around the ring, back into the ring, and Lumis is just in charge. He's just throwing people around. Thatcher gets thrown back out, and it's Finn's turn to beat up Lumis with some nasty stomps to the ankle, really going after this, trying to slow the big man down. Thatcher pops back in and starts doling out uppercuts, suplexes, and generally just trying to rip people's appendages off their bodies. You have too many arms. You don't need them all, and Thatcher would like to help you with this. We're on to ad break, but the ads are so annoying. I've actually forgotten that the match was going on for a second, and I had to come back to bring myself back in. And my note here is just, did you know vaping is bad? WWE won't let me forget, because we've seen this commercial 3 times tonight. Thatcher is tearing at Finn's face and has a face that makes me look like one of his parents wasn't human and the other was a chimney sweep. He's trying to maim people. He's trying to disfigure people. The man is just an absolute monster, and it's kind of terrifying to watch. Finn is starting to show some signs of life again before getting punched right in the face, which reminds Dexter how much he enjoys hurting people, so he's back up to get his spot. Finn clears house with a neck breaker and the sling blade before calling for the shotgun dropkick, but Thatcher had some other plans, was hanging out outside the ring, grabs Finn around the ankles, drags him to the ground, wraps his knee around the ring post. Just looks absolutely brutal. Dexter Lumis, not to be left out, does what only I can call a dolphin dive, slides right on his stomach under the bottom ring to start beating up on Thatcher again. From the Discord chat, just a funny little line here. Picture a world where Dexter Lumis is not a wrestler. No. The man is too terrifying to think something else happening. Dexter gets Thatcher back in the ring, nails a massive Uranagi, followed by locking his silent submission before Finn comes out of nowhere with a coup de grace, allowing Thatcher to throw in an ankle lock. Lumis creeps his way in, locks the silence back in, and when I say, I feel like I did not do that justice. Thatcher has locked in an ankle lock. He is screaming, Finn is crying, looks like Finn's getting ready to top. Lumis crawls behind him, not blinking, just crawls, just appears behind him, locks in the silence on Thatcher, who passes out while still trying to rip off Finn's leg, giving him the win and the shot in the ladder match. Thumbs way up for this match. Everybody looked great. Thatcher looked like a maniac. Finn looks like he runs the place. And Dexter Lumis just absolutely looks like a superstar. He looks like he belongs. It's almost a shame he's going for the secondary title here, because with showings like that, you can see this guy going for any title he wants at any time. So, at the end of the night, we got a couple things we're always going to look at. We're going to look at the show of the night, the match of the night, and the segment of the night, and what to show your friends. The show of the night, and I know I'm going to get yelled at for this later. I am a bit of an AEW fangirl. I'm aware of this. I come into these things unbiased, but NXT was by far the better night tonight. AEW may have won the ratings war, but NXT had the better show, and it wasn't entirely all that close. The match of the night was easily Gargano versus Roddy Strong. MJF had the segment of the night. Like I said, that was his pipe bomb. That was his career-defining promo. I've never seen anything that good before. No, I don't want to say that, but like, this was what is going to push him to the next thing. And after that, what do we show our friends? Give them either Roddy or Gargano, but I'm going to say Swerve or Atlas. Just, it was fast-paced enough to bring people in and get people from there. So that's all we've got time for this week, and I will see you guys next week on the Wednesday Night Wars podcast. Till then.